Well, I'm very proud to be here on behalf of Bombardier at the 6th Aviation and Environment Summit in beautiful Geneva, actually just by the lake. It's the largest gathering of aviation industry stakeholders focused exclusively on environmental issues. Bombardier is very engaged in corporate social responsibility, so it's very important to us to actually be part of those environmental discussions and demonstrate that we have a leadership role to play. Because if we want to reduce CO2 emissions in the world resulting from aviation, we'll need more fuel-efficient aircraft. And Bombardier's aircraft, the Q400, the CRJs, and the C-Series, of course, are all part of the solution. ATAG, the Air Transport Action Group, published a document that is very interesting called Aviation Benefits Beyond Borders. And it's all about the economic, social, and environmental aspects of aviation. So in terms of economic benefits, for example, aviation is so important to the world that if we were to calculate it as a country, we would be the 90th largest country in the world. So we'd actually be part of the G20. And of course, we talked a lot about the environmental aspect of aviation. So CO2 emissions, the fact that aviation is responsible of 2% of man-made CO2 emissions, and that aviation industry has some targets to actually contain emissions, to reduce them by 50% by year 2050. That's relative to 2005 levels. And also we want to achieve carbon neutral by 2020. We have a four-pillar strategy around technology, operations, infrastructure, and economic measures to actually achieve these goals. There were 4 panels yesterday, and they were all related to that four-pillar strategy. So the first one was all around sustainability, how you actually define and measure sustainability for aviation. The second panel was actually all around air traffic control management. It was actually the panel that I had to moderate. There's a lot of CO2 emissions reductions that can come from that pillar. Another was focused on technology and biofuel. This is so important to actually achieve the target, and that is really a pillar where Bombardier can contribute a lot with our fuel-efficient aircraft. Well, the fourth panel was all about the global framework for aviation's emissions. It's actually the fourth pillar of our strategy around economic measures. On the industry level, we would like one emissions trading scheme at the global and international level under ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization. But right now, Europe is going ahead with its own emissions trading scheme, including aviation, and that's creating a lot of debate right here at the summit. So on the last day of the summit, a number of CEOs will talk to us about how they can actually improve the environmental commitment of the aviation industry. Afterwards, the whole industry will sign a sustainable declaration together. We think that's very significant, very important, because this year we're just a few months away from the Rio +20 conference, which is all about sustainable development. 20 years after the first Rio conference, it's positioning that is very significant from the aviation industry before the Rio summit to publish that declaration today. So we're looking forward to be a signatory of that declaration later today.